someone who will be there outside of the administration to give us answers to questions, to provide us suggestions. One more thing on here that I forgot to mention was the question of what powers does the trustee has. The only power that they have to overrule our board is if we don't act on something that's in accordance with our own plan, our own recovery plan that we'll pass on the end of this month. So, and I would think that we would want, we're passing a plan, we're giving it our stamp of approval that we would do everything in accordance to that. So I don't see that as a problem. But I do see as a problem just changes. We're getting a new interim chancellors. We may get some new board members. We need some consistency outside of the administration and this advice. So I would urge that we pass this.
Of making these decisions, and if we don't elect to have a special trustee, we'll be in a situation where we have one imposed and we may lose control of the district.
Would you give us some idea what happened, the financial wise, what happened with the City College?
Well, City College has been in a position where we've done so much to help students that we're in a situation where we aren't necessarily in a sound financial situation. And a lot of people are aware that we've lost $50 million the past 3 years from the state because the state hasn't been able to make well on its promises to provide the funding necessary to run our district. We don't want to cut programs at City College of San Francisco, but we have to be in a situation where there are some decisions made at the top that help us run our finances soundly. And as it stands right now, we're in a situation where that's not happening.
Tonight with 21, I just wanted to make clear our public institutions and public education and the teachers and their benefits and our classified staff were under attack long before ACCJC showed up to say any of this. We're under attack because of revenue. We're under attack in general. We're glad that Chicago is out. However, in that context, we understand that difficult decisions are coming down upon us and that we're going to have to fight back against them when appropriate and work with what's going on around us when appropriate. And that's a very difficult thing to say. So with that in mind, I want to thank the board for really considering and thinking about, rather than showing up and pushing a decision through with no information and with no clarity about what it would mean for us, we have more understanding about what this means for us now. It's clear that the board is going to make the decision that they're going to make. It's clear that many people in the audience don't like that decision, and we need to take all of that into account. And I just want to thank you for being clear with us about what your reasonings and your decisions are, because if we can at least get there, we can continue to have some conversations, some disagreements, and hopefully find more areas.
My name is Neela Chatterjee. So I come here today not to talk about the trustee, but something different. As you are in the process of redefining the scope of mission, scope of our mission at City College, I speak to you as a former student and a current instructor. Do we meet our students' need when we prioritize filling classes? Do we really catch our students who need us the most? In practice, because that's what I'm here to talk about, in practice, in the classroom. In practice, no. They drop our classes, they get discouraged, we take their potential away. Why do some City College students get left behind?
Good evening, trustees, Chancellor, Trustee Walker. So students are here today because we're concerned, right? We're here today because we're very concerned. We're concerned that we've not been adequately informed and included in the process. We're concerned about the ability of this board to protect our school and make decisions that are student-centered. We are concerned that the proposed changes will limit who is able to access City College as an affordable, accessible institution. We are not a junior college, we are a community college. We want our college to remain democratic. We want no more cuts to classes, no increases in fees. We are in solidarity with workers and the community. The Student Success Act was just signed by the governor. just signed. So this will limit the bond fee waiver and disproportionately impact students of color, students that have barriers from low-income communities. This administration has made it easy for WASP to come into our school and do this to us. They've been waiting for this opportunity. I don't trust Jack Scott, and we are the largest community college in the nation. If they can do this to us, they can do it across America.
Thank you.
That is going on right now is absurd. Your responsibility, voted on by the people of the city, is to defend our school, not to sell it off to privatize it. What you are doing is giving acceptance to a dictatorial, anti-democratic process whose only purpose is to destroy our school. Only purpose. WASC wants to impose cuts. They say there is no alternative. We know there's alternative. This is the richest state in the country. There's money for the school. Your responsibility is to side with the students and the teachers and the workers here to say, we do not accept this. This is BS. You should come up with the money to fund our school. That's right. Responsibility for the destruction of this school, but the students and the workers, we do not accept this. We know there's an alternative. You say we have to choose between an imposed special trustee or a volunteer special trustee. No, you can say no. We can decide democratically how to save this school. We can expose WASC. WASC is financed by Lumina Foundation, which is a pro-privatization foundation. Why do you accept the dictate of an undemocratic privatization school?
Good evening. My name is Mihal Madden. I'm with Save City College. We are all here tonight for City College. All of us over here. What does it mean? What do those words mean, City College? What does it mean to have a community college? It means that it's open to the public. We can review here. Takes care of its students, right? Gives them counseling. Keeps classes open. Creates more classes. Protects their teachers. And it doesn't blame the problems of the institution on its faculty, right? Not only that, but it means that the community has a say in the processes that go on in this institution. And this is a highly undemocratic process. I second all of the comments concerning that from my comrades. In terms of a voluntary trustee, I don't see anything voluntary about it whatsoever. Right? What difference does it make? Right? WASC and now your board in conjunction is putting a gun to our heads on this. And these are the cards that we get dealt. We get two choices. You can have a forced trustee or you can have a voluntary trustee. So I'll give you two choices. We can give you two choices. You can sit at that table and destroy this school, or you can stand with us and demand that the state funds this school.
Striking against this person. And this is a one-sided class war against public education, racist war against the poor and the black and Latino community. That's what this vote is for. Beno and Jack Scott want this. You know why? Because they want to butcher this university, as they've done to other places. They want to sell off these campuses to privatized companies, like University of Phoenix. That's what this is all about. And actually, there's no sweet pill in this thing. If you vote for this, you actually attack the teachers, you're going to attack the benefits, and you're going to end up destroying the university. That's what this vote is about. It should be opposed, and we have to learn from the Chicago teachers. Enough is enough. We got to put a stop.
Nobody in this room fails to recognize, divided in or in this district. The people have elected you responsibilities to the best of your ability. We will all help. Many, many people in this room want to see City College continue. It's a great institution of the people. We will get through this accreditation process, which is a bit of a fiasco by many people's standards, but we will get through it. We will get Prop A passed. We will pass Prop 30 at the state level. We will defeat Prop 32, and City College will continue in pretty much its present form. We all hope, and we will work hard for that.
And what did he say? He said, accept the help of the trustee. Accept the help that the State Chancellor's Board is willing to give you. Look at what happened, he said, at Diablo Valley College. Look at the great job they did there. And a few days later in the Chronicle, we saw what they did to Diablo Valley College. They gutted it. They took it out of commission as far as any kind of community college was formed. And that's what's going to happen here. You can bet on it as sure as anything. If this board, and I'm addressing you guys, not the board, if this board passes
Your time's up.
this board, it shows that they cannot protect us. Only we can protect us.
Well, but I think it's really important that we understand what's going on at CCSF. It's not an isolated incident, which has already been made clear, but across the community college system, this has been happening. It pains me that I see the language used to describe this and the imposition of a trustee as recovery. What makes the school sick? There's not enough management. The ed profiteers can't swoop in easily enough and take it over. The accreditation team is an unqualified doctor, and they're looking for surgeons to dismantle the body of the college. What is sick is the butchery of public schools, the shutting out of students, and obscuring where the problem lies. This is a question of power. In a public school, any power to shape the body of the college should lie with the students, the teachers, and the workers. Enough pretending that our two choices, as people have said, are only a voluntary or an imposed. Trustee, this is a false dichotomy.
Your time's up, thank you.
Do we want to cut off our hands with or without anesthesia?
Thank you.
I will stand here with the students and workers and teachers with my fist in the air.
In the SFA that said that if we don't voluntarily submit, they're going to send somebody. So what I would like the focus of my comments to be is, I always want to be in a position where there is mutual agreement as much as possible. So if we can maintain our authority, but have some help, I would much rather be in that position than to be in a somewhat adversarial position with somebody coming in with a velvet hammer and hitting me upside the head. Because I think that is our alternative. And in this, you know, we need some help, because day-to-day stuff has gotten much more difficult over the years, and even day-to-day stuff that has transpired since June 30 has become difficult to implement around the college. Okay, my time is up. So I'm an advocate for the special trustee, for the standpoint of us working together and not in opposition.
Mouse. I'm a journalism student here at City College. My shirt says stand with the Chicago Teachers Union. I think we should all study very closely what is taking place in Chicago. 26,000 teachers are out on strike this week. Yesterday, it was reported that 35,000 Chicagoans were on the picket line supporting them. This accreditation process is pushing us closer to the policies that the students and teachers and community members are striking against in Chicago. What this accreditation process is doing is imposing the logic of the bottom line, of big business, of the profit system on our public education system. It treats students as consumers of services rather than people who have a human right to an education that is enriched, that is lifelong, that is wide, that is not narrowed by a propensity to test and quantify everything that you possibly can, which is what this Accreditation Commission wants to do. And also, what exists in Chicago is they have a school board that is not elected, right? And if Trustee Jackson, you said that you hope this board doesn't cede power. If you vote for a special trustee, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. And in the United States, when we talk about rolling back democracy, we're talking about resegregation. We're talking about the increase of racism in our public school system. That's what we're talking about.
Insurmountable. Why must saving money be accomplished by chopping out programs? Why can't all of our programs share in the losses, perhaps some more than others, but none totally eliminated? How can we say that this student is valuable and that one isn't? How can we expect all groups in San Francisco to support our parcel tax campaign if we tell some of them they don't matter anymore? For example, if we take lifelong learning out of the mission statement, why should senior citizens vote for the parcel tax? Why should student education is a 1% agenda against the 99%. It's what the Student Success Task Force has been trying to shove down our throats. Please be true to who we are at City College. Don't give in to the 1%. And the recommendation number 1 says revise the mission statement regularly, not revise annually. Revising annually is just an excuse to have more opportunity to tout our programs.
That's correct. We have a choice to begin to follow the rules that have been handed to us, rules of austerity, rules of privatization, rules of making sure that profitability is the only thing that matters. Or we can begin to fight for something different. It's not something that's just going to happen a couple of years down the line. It's not like we can just impose austerity, impose these cuts, and expect a couple of years from now things are going to be okay and we can once again rebuild this school and this community. It's not going to happen. If we continue to play by their rules, things will only get worse.
Keep in mind, right? Democracy is supposed to, in terms of our own intellectual development, our participation, right? People being critical thinkers, and for police, whenever they want to throw out people who just disagree with the status quo, right? That's a transgression against us all, I think, and should probably be considered criminal in a more just society.
Like, for instance, if the special trustee makes a recommendation, but we as a board disagree, what exactly?
My understanding is that we can disagree, that the only thing he or she can overrule is they can overrule something if we don't follow our own plan. The plan that we will pass in October, if we do something that does not follow that plan.
Can't they just say that it's not part of the plan?
I'm just telling you what the law says.
No, but that's my point. It's like if the special trustee just says, oh, that's not part of the plan, or the special trustee says, oh, this is part of the plan, and we say, well, no, it's not, or we just kind of want to do it differently. You know, who supersedes who in terms of decision?
I think all you can go by is the information that the Chancellor's Office has provided you. There could be endless questions you're not going to be able to answer. So the best you can do is refer to the memo of status. Just say yes. Well, I'm just saying I can't give you any more information, but that's all I'm saying.
I'm not a lawyer.
If I may, Mr. Chair, ultimately, just
say that if our actions are inconsistent with the developed recovery plan, because that's what the President was talking about, our own plan, or the accreditation standards, which we have, and then ultimately the fiscal health of the district, our actions are contrary to those criteria. In terms of the specifics, I don't think we can even know, because that scenario would change as it develops.
So yes, that's my point. It's like, who determines what's inbounds and what's out of bounds? You know, so my point is, who's the referee between the student trust, not student, I'm sorry, the special trustee, it's still SNS. So the special trustee and the board, if we have a disagreement, is there an arbitrator? Is there, I mean, that's where I'm trying to get to. Like, if we think something is out of the mission or beyond our values, and the special trustee says, well, you know, I think this needs to be done. They make, it says right here that they provide review, provide advice, and make recommendations regarding the report. If we disagree with one of their recommendations, or we just choose not to vote in favor of the recommendations, what happens? And I have like a series of questions, so I'm going to keep on going. But that's you know, I don't want us to be surprised if like we disagree on the question.
You're calling the question. You're moving to.
I'm going to oppose. I still have the question in now.
Motion to call the question. Is there a second? There's a second. Okay, that is not a debatable motion.
So we're going to vote to call the question. Roll call.
Vote to call the question.
Roll call, please.
Okay.
We can't Council, you can't have open discussion about the trustee. I think folks have, I mean, I think if we're going to vote, I think at least we have the obligation to ask some more questions. That's right.
Let's call the vote.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a motion on the floor.
I mean, I just also want to know, how do students and community people participate in the process as well? I mean, is there a participation process? Or if not, I mean, is our student trustee part of the decision-making process of the special trustee's decisions? I mean, these are questions that, you know, aren't in this report that I think we're here at a board meeting. We ought to ask them, we ought to get some sort of answer before we. This is a monumental step. And I think that, you know, for the lack of information we have in this process, we're making a decision that, you know, with very little information about the actual process, about do they have more decision-making power than we do, or what constitutes.
Let me just say something. The state has been defunding education for 3 years. If the accreditation body had given us a clean bill of health and said, you guys are the best in the world, we'd still be in the same budget situation. Okay, the state is still cutting $17 million from us last year. The governor says if Prop 30 fails, they're going to take $10 million away from us.
But I'm not talking about the budget. I'm just talking about decisions. I'm not talking about the budget right now. That's what
Stop changing the subject.
The special trustee is, you know, these cuts are happening regardless whether or not we have accreditation or not.
I'm not talking about the cuts though. I'm just talking about basic decisions though. Right. Like if they want to, I mean, just basic decision-making power in the process. I'm not talking about the cuts.
Yeah, right. we have a motion to call the question.
Well, answer the question. Why are you rushing this through?
I mean, I would like to know what's the procedure to vote to remove the special trustee? How do you remove the special trustee?
On the motion to call the question, all those in favor?
I said roll call.
Aye. Council, can you give a roll call?
Trustee Beno. Aye. Trustee Burke. Aye. Trustee Wong. Aye. Trustee Greer. Vice President Jay. President Rizzo. Aye. Trustee Santos. Aye.
Trustee Jackson?
No.
Disseminated in a fashion where students could have been part of the process. We should have been bringing this to our campuses so students could have had time to vet this with this board. But what has happened? You are away from, like another student said, away from our centers. You have, you know, a process where it's like we're only giving 1 minute to speak, and that's frustrating for people because this is our college. We are the recipients of this. We are the consumers. We have a right to voice our opinions and to say what we think and what we feel as students at this college. So what you're seeing is our right. We have every right to be angry and upset because you guys didn't do your job in bringing all this information to us. One of your trustees was the only one that said, and William Walker, to put all that information up online. You guys could have avoided this if you would work in collaboration with us and bring it so that students who have busy schedules, who raise their kids, who work, who can barely come to these meetings, actually be able to do homework right now. And we're not here, and we're students. So think about that. We don't get paid to sit here. You know what I'm saying? So consider us when we make these actions. Think about our lives because we have a right to be upset because we were not adequately informed about all these decisions that are being made. Thank you.
The budget has been online since May.
Yeah, online.
Well, that's what you said. Now, Alisa Messer, who actually is representing the workers.
AFT 2121. I guess I want to say two things. One is, I want to say, and I don't represent all the workers, I represent the faculty. AFT 2121 represents the faculty. And people need to understand that the faculty, in fact all the workers at the college, have stepped up again and again. And we've done that because we've been trying to protect the budget. And while we've done that, we've worked on revenue, we've worked on the millionaire's tax, we're working on the parcel tax, and this board has taken some steps, although frankly I wish you'd taken more steps, to support those moves for revenue over and over and over again. So there's some context and there's some history of this board supporting revenue. It's hard to see it at this moment, I agree, and if you're a student who stepped in more recently, it's very hard to see. So but all of the members of this board, I believe at this point, have endorsed the parcel tax. Many of them were involved in the millionaire's tax, and so I just want that context out there. So that's one thing. Another thing, though, is what Chanel Williams just said, and I'm just going to keep going, I'm sorry. What Chanel Williams should be put on a loop and played at the beginning of every board meeting, at the beginning of every accreditation meeting, at the beginning of every shared governance meeting, because it's not just accreditation, it's all of our shared governance. We need students there. And she just said so well what students want all of us to hear about what needs to happen in order to integrate students and help them, right, help us be a better college. And I needed to say that. And then the last thing I needed to say before Andre takes me out of here is that the faculty at the college have voted, right, have talked about this budget, have been involved in this budget, and have voted for the pay cut that you heard, right, the 2.85% pay cut. And we did that at 89%, and that was not an easy thing to do.
Come in.
And it's not something we want to continue to do. But there's a reason we did it. We did it because of students like Chanel. We did it because of students like Alex. And you know you didn't ask. But we did it anyway because we love this college.
And they didn't get any help from this school. But you did. Where were you when she just said her members took a 2-point-whatever cut and mine took a 4.6? Where were you? It was all okay. It was all okay. And it wasn't okay. No, it wasn't okay. It's not okay. But this whole thing of some of y'all getting what you want when you want it is okay. And to hell with everybody else. And I don't like it. Because SEIU is at the table with everybody. We will talk with anybody and everybody. We want this school to be here. We are sitting here working on this parcel tax. We are sitting on all of these little committees, and we are sitting here fighting with folk that we really like most of the time, trying to hammer this mess out. So some of this stuff, y'all in check, because I cannot take it. I cannot take it. I cannot take it. Because it ain't factual. It's not. This college got cut in 2008, and we have been subsidizing stuff, trying to keep everybody happy except my members and a few others. And now, this is the fruit of it. This is what happens when you have no money for years running and people have to subsidize it. I'm sorry. I realize y'all all in here hollering at him. I holler at him too. On the weekend, text message. You know how text message, you blow you up. But it's them and it's not them. And I just got to say that. I don't have time for fighting folk that ain't my enemy. And yes, I did say ain't. We are going to work together. We are going to get through this. I am not saying that you shouldn't feel like you feel. I'm not saying that. But I need you to take some of that and harness it in a way that's going to help us and to be effective. So, I want to say the S word, but I'm not. I want y'all to get it together. Please, please. I am begging you. Because education, it is a humongous problem. It is. And it seems like it's coming down to it's going to be for the haves and the have-nots, and there isn't going to be a middle. I swear, I see the same thing you guys see. But what I'm asking you right now is I got to get to March 15th. That's what I got to get to. My members is eating 12 furlough days. And the district, we having a hard time trying to figure out how to implement it, to make it work. Right. But we doing, I ain't even saying we doing what we got to do, because we so mad and it's just been ugly. And none of us here are happy. None of us. So help. Do not hurt.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to forget I didn't birth some of y'all and slap the hell out of you. So help me, I will. I will put my hands on you.
So Ms. Thomas, do you want us to pass this budget?
You going to give my members a raise? Say yes. Say yes.
Show us the money.
Show us the money.
Show us the money.
Here is going to impose pay cuts from 2.85% to 5.2%. They're proposing that they reduce personnel. They're going to fire several.
And then hire management, probably.
They're going to
hire administrators.
They're going to take money out of the unrestricted fund. I don't know what that means, but anyways, they're talking about lowering wages and firing workers. And we know that this is California, right? This is a land of fabulous wealth and riches. We have the money to fund schools in this state if we had the political will to fight for it.
Not be divided amongst each other. We support you. We've been supporting you.
Let the public comment happen. Give him respect like he gave you.
Thank you for letting me address you. My name is Bob Price. I'm a faculty member at the college. I'm speaking on my own behalf and for some like-minded faculty members such as myself. But what Ms. Thomas said is absolutely right. We've been taking cuts for years now. We faculty have given in, as Alisa said. The SEIU folks have done the same thing, and this austerity is killing us. I mean, as people have been pointing out throughout the evening. So, and the students who spoke before are right. This is the richest state in the country. As an economy by itself around the world, it would come, what, in 7th or 8th or 9th. The number changes over time. But there's plenty of wealth in this state, and there's not the political will to fund education. And so, we should not be accepting a budget which is going to cut us even more than what we already did.
I'd like to refer you to page 15 of your budget. $1,143,279 for other consulting. I wonder what that is. What corporation is getting that money?
I'd like to refer to you page 16 of your budget. $716,000 other property leases, $242,000 for property leases, $660,000 for software license and fees, $400,000 for legal services, $500,000 for interest expense, $328,000 credit card fees. That doesn't look right. $400,000 receivable write-offs. Does that mean that you guys actually couldn't collect the money that was owed you, and so you just tossed it out the window?
From students.
Okay, sorry.
No wonder students pay most.
Okay. Fees for services. So there's a lot on here that is, I mean, in a few seconds, who can go over it carefully? But I would like to point out that I believe we're paying approximately $250,000 for the interim chancellor, and we don't know yet how much the special trustee is going to cost. The fact that you guys voted on this without knowing the cost is, to me, just...
To the audience, I understand there's this kind of tension tonight, and I think a lot of it centers around this idea of violence, and what's inappropriate, and what's acting out of order. And I think there's lots of ways that when you sit in a room like this, it looks, oh my gosh, students have stood up, students have taken over, and you're pushed out of the way. How disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. But I think at the same time, there's a way that very deep structural violence is able to sit there with its arms folded behind a tie. And I think that this budget is an example of that violence. And I'd like to thank all the students who came out to speak today, and I would like to hope that all of the workers stand together to fight every step of the way against any furloughs, against any pay cuts, because it's entirely wrong and violent. Thank you.
Either you're going to fight with us or you're going to fight against us. We need to get that money. It's our future. And we're looking to, there's some good examples for us to look to right now. The students in Quebec just led a 6-month strike, and they stopped the tuition hike. They got the money because they got the teachers in Chicago, they're fighting for a raise. They don't think they should have a pay cut. They do the work of educating our children. We should value that, and they're fighting for it. So either you're going to fight with us or you're going to fight against us. But there's going to be... Free of us, no peace. Education must be free of us, no